Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube? Man, it's your boy, Ashton Jackson, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys blue and white scrimmage today. I'm going to be talking about all the guys that showed out today, like Kalen Carson was doing his thing. I forgot to mention that yesterday. He keeps showing out, and I legitimately think that he's going to be a guy that once we're not able to pay for Deron Bland, because everyone, why I'm talking about that is because everyone talks about how Dak isn't going to get done, CD isn't going to get done, or we can't keep all these guys getting paid. I think an underrated person that we're not going to be able to keep will be Deron Bland. And since Deron Bland is able to play outside and nickel, I think Kalen Carson can do both as well, but I think Kalen Carson will be a hell of a corner on the outside. With us finding Kalen Carson, and once he stays consistent, he stays healthy, and he just keeps the main thing, I think Kalen Carson will be the steal of the draft, and Dallas Cowboys would have found them another and the Cowboys would have found them another defensive back that can play make and that can be really great in coverage. Jalen Cropper was doing his thing today with the ones, and I'm very proud of him. And I think this is a guy that can do true slot things where he can be like, I'm just keeping things for Dallas Cowboy related. I'm not comparing him to one of the greatest slot receivers ever, but I'm just going to say Dallas Cowboys run who actually played for the Dallas Cowboys and that were good for the Dallas Cowboys. Cole Beasley. I felt like Jalen Cropper can do what Cole Beasley can do, but just in a bigger body, but a little bit more explosive, in my opinion. Jalen Cropper did some things today that really caught my eye, and that I felt like what Gallup was doing, I feel like Cropper can also do it as well. And then I'm going to be talking about Hunter Lepke getting catches, getting involved into the run game. Molly Smith had pressure versus Zach Martin, Brandon Cooks, and there was a lot of one-on-ones today. Thank God, finally we was getting some one-on-one action today, and I love that a lot. So before we hop into the video, I appreciate if you guys will like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content, man. And again, shout out to everyone that has been keeping me up with the content in terms of like Patrick No-C. I'm getting his clips from Twitter. Shout out to him, John Machota as well. I have both of their perspectives of training camp today. But one thing on my error I messed up is not updating you guys on injuries, and I forgot to do that yesterday. So, but one thing I am going to be talking about is Luke Schoonmaker left practice early on Friday. I'm making this video on Saturday, so yesterday Schoonmaker left practice early. He's off today, but will likely return on Monday. For me, he keeps getting in his way, and it's not his fault, right? It's his body. You can't really blame the human body, but you already knew he had these issues coming into the second round, and that's what the Dallas Cowboys like doing. They like taking chances, and they like finding the diamond in the rough, the guy that's counted out. They like the underdog story. They always like drafting a person that's hurt because they always think they're getting great value or underrated value, so they have to get the hurt guys in the draft and potentially turn them into something. If they can become something like what we did with Jalen Smith. We drafted a lot of different guys that were hurt in college that weren't that great in the league. Tristan Hill, unfortunate for him, he was hurt, and UCF has some off-field issues and some problems with the coaching. But I'm just saying, like, a lot. If you see a lot of these red flags, like injuries, character concerns, character issues, and why draft him in the second round, we damn near do that for everyone. I think Tristan Hill second round. Schoonmaker, there was somebody else I forgot. Jalen Smith, second round. No off-field issues. Really great leader. Just injury. Why do we continuously take chances in the second round? Like we treat how NFL teams treat day 3. We treat day 2, the start of day 2, round 2. We treat that like the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, and that's just mind-boggling to me. I don't know why we can't get it done, but that's fine. Whatever. That's why I need Bever and Span. That's why I've been harping on those guys to get it done. I need Bever and Span to show up. I need John Stephens Jr. to show up. Hendershot has been doing something in practice. So if Hendershot sneaks his way into the roster, like Schoonmaker is going to find his way out of the league very soon. And not in the league, but for sure not playing in Dallas Cowboy uniform on a second contract if he continues this up. It's not his fault again, but we just need to think about this stuff, right? Israel McQuamu will miss some time with an injury. This, again, everything is per Mike McCarthy. I don't know what sometime means. Sometime can mean a week. Sometime can mean he's probably going to miss 2 out of 3 training camp games. So, and they didn't even really disclose what the injury was. So I'm not even sure what it was with him. Tyler Guyton missed Friday and will miss Saturday, which was today, due to an illness. I don't know what I can guess what illness it was, because especially if they're not signifying what it is, we know what it is. Starts with a C word. It's fine. Eric Kendricks has missed the 3 practices with a tight back. He will continue work with rehab. I think it's just, your body aging, going through all the training camp hoopla and everything like that. I felt like if Eric Kendricks is in that same mold of Tyron Smith is hurt all the time in practice. If he's a really great player, he doesn't get hurt during the games, but he gets hurt leading up to practice, don't have the man practice. I think if Eric Kendricks is one of those guys that just needs to work out on his own and have him ready for Sunday, then have that be the case. Michael Parsons has an elbow issue, but will not miss any practice time, thank God. So again, we're going to talk about today's practice. Again, today's practice, there was a lot of one-on-ones, and finally we're getting some one-on-ones. I know we get one-on-ones in camp, but really you hear from Brian Bartis due to Vosh Lombardi, and those two having a really great podcast together. Make sure you guys go check them out on Vosh Lombardi's page. They have really great work together. But they say that with Brian Bartis, because he is an insider, he works with the Dallas Cowboys. Not really like on the field, but he's on .com, and he sees things from a scout eye, and that's why everyone loves Brian Broaddus, right? But really what he says is that the reason why we don't get a whole lot of one-on-ones is because Mike McCarthy doesn't like showing out his team, and he doesn't want to make anybody look bad. But I think one-on-one work needs to be done, because I feel like one-on-one work is going to tell certain players how far away they are from something. If there's a Kevin Carson that can stick in front of a vet like Brandon Cooks, or a really shifty young receiver like Jalen Tolbert that's getting a lot of talk about in training camp and all the media and everything like that, because a lot of these kids are around my age. I'm 21. A lot of these kids are 21, 22, 23, 24, and they all got social media like me, so they're all seeing Jalen Tolbert's making this headway. So if Kevin Carson's able to stay in front of a 3-4 year vet, and Kevin Carson's rookie and he's doing his thing, staying in front of Jalen Tolbert, because he looks like right now Cooks and Jalen Tolbert look like the best wide receivers, not named CeeDee Lamb, who isn't here yet. That gives guys confidence. And I think Brandon Cooks, he was sticking in coverage. He did really great against vets like Brandon Cooks. I know Brandon Cooks caught a pass on him. I'm showing you guys highlights, but you guys see, that's why one-on-ones is important, because with a guy like Kevin Carson, you stick in front of these vets, it does you very good. Some of these guys that need to work on their game, they think they're a little bit better than what they actually are. They can come in, they can work on their game, and I think it gives them a gauge. That's why I like one-on-ones. It gives you a gauge on where you should be, where you're at, where you're going to be, things of that nature. Jalen Tolbert did his thing today, as always. That's nothing new. Brandon Cooks did his thing. I'm going to talk about Jalen Cropper. I think we need to start talking about some of these other Jalens. Not because Jalen Tolbert is not always doing his thing. I don't care. I want people to win. I always love seeing people win, especially in their profession, that they spent dedicated hours, blood, sweat, and tears, and made a whole lot of sacrifice, them and their families. I need to talk about them as well. Jalen Tolbert is already doing his thing. He's going to start third round. You slap the third round tag on him. He's a draft pick. He's going to do his thing. Jalen Brooks, he's going to do his thing. I need to talk about some of these undrafted free agency guys. I think they need some pub. I think they need some attention for a little, especially if you're doing your freaking job as an undrafted person. You need the confidence. You need people talking about you. So I'm going to talk about Jalen Cropper. I've been high on him a lot ever since he came out of Fresno State and we picked him up. That was somebody that I was eyeing in the draft process that I wanted the Dallas Cowboys to sign. Jalen Cropper is that slot dude, and what elevates these high-powered offenses and what makes these teams a lot better is when you have a guy that can play slot. Not primarily slot, but look at us last year. Our passing game was tremendous. Why? Because we were able to put CeeDee Lamb on the numbers, outside the numbers, inside the numbers. So since we were able to do that, our offense, you couldn't get a gauge on our offense in the passing game with CeeDee Lamb in the slot. I think you're I know you're very unguardable, because I hear highly intelligent defensive coordinators, defensive player like Jalen Ramsey, and the people that got to guard people in the slot. People like it's an itch to guard in the slot, because you have so much length of the field. You can do anything you want, and you got any route to your disposal. You can get open. You have more area of the field to work with. We can burn intermediate. We can get underneath. We can get to the sideline quickly. We can do everything from the slot. Hear from Tom Brady. Hear from all of these guys, right? I think Jalen Cropper does a lot of great things in the slot that we envisioned Michael Gallup to keep doing for us, right? When we gave him that 5-year contract after he tore his ACL, we wanted him to be the guy that would catch the ball in the slot, make the big plays on the outside of the numbers, that would make the big plays in the slot, take advantage of that slot receiver or that slot corner take advantage of that slot corner, catch the passes underneath, and take a 2-yard drag and turn that into a touchdown, jump over somebody, or just simply outrun somebody. Saw the clips that I was working with Jalen Cropper, and you saw that the longer title that I had, it was saying how Jalen Cropper, I feel like, can do really great work underneath. He has no injuries, thank God, and Jalen Cropper was able to outrun one of the defensive backs. I forgot who it was. He got lost underneath in coverage. He was wide open. Dak Prescott knew where the ball was going. He put it in the spot. Jalen Cropper utilized his speed and his athleticism, ran up under it. It was a touchdown. Then there was another touchdown where he threw in the back left pylon, and that was a touchdown. Jalen Cropper made a great contested catch. I like what he's doing, and everyone's talking about Tyron, Billy Johnson, and they're talking about Jalen Brooks, Jalen Tolbert, in terms of guys who are going to make the team, possibly sneaky adds to make the team. I think Jalen Cropper can do it, especially if he adds something to teams, which he was able to do last year. I think if he's a solid punt returner, because he's young, he can utilize his agility. He does that thing. I think we're going to be fine. Carson, I really can't talk about Kevin Carson enough. I gotta say, stop saying I think. I know he's going to be somebody. The way he walks, the way he talks, he's from the DMV. And just think about all the kids. Think about everybody that's from the DMV. Whether that's the Diggs brothers, whether that's Kevin Durant, whether that's all these guys that are coming from the DMV. They're special. And when you're special and you come from the DMV, they're going to let you know, and we know it. Like, Kalen Carson is going to be a hell of a corner. You saw it in the draft process. For the people that were paying attention to, like, everyone that was doing the draft process, we all know Foots, Okoye, Sky, Vach, Law, like everyone that does great work. I'm forgetting everyone that did great draft content. We knew who Kalen Carson was going to be. We saw it in the draft process, and even if you didn't know his name prior to the draft process, but you were watching those guys I just named, and you watched their videos, breaking down film, breaking down tape. I was just like you guys watching them. I'm consistent learner of this game, right? So knowing Kalen Carson was going to be something is special, and watching Kalen Carson, he just needs to put it. Not all he needs to do is show the world, show Cowboy Nation who isn't at Oxnard, show the Cowboy fans that live in Zona, Colorado, Texas that aren't at Oxnard or can't make it to the games, or North Dakota, South Dakota, Florida, Miami, New York, Jersey, wherever the hell they live at, Philadelphia, wherever. Show us on preseason when we're tuning in to watch the games. We're paying these out-of-market prices to watch the Dallas Cowboys. Kevin Carson just needs to show us. So does Jalen Cropper. Hunter Lepke getting involved in the passing game, I think that's special. The reason why I say it's special, because I think if you're a team that utilizes a fullback and you utilize it correctly, like the 49ers, like the Ravens, you're going to have success in this league. And it's such an underrated part to your game, because when you want to run the ball in a team, it's hella windy, it's monsoon damn near, it looks like in some of these places like Chicago and things of that nature. When it gets cold and quarterback hands gets rough and tough and they can't really ball it up to throw a pass, turn the ball around, and guess who is going to be the first line of defense other than your offensive line? Guess who's coming down with some head steam and gonna knock somebody? And Hunter Lepke, he one of them Dakota, man. He one of them wins. He one of them countries fed men. So you don't want to get in his way. He 2 or 3 yards, and he is mean. He's coming down, and he's a well-built athlete. You don't want to get in front of that. And then you got Rico, Zeke, Royce Freeman, Deuce. You don't want you don't want to see Zeke within a 5-yard distance. You're gonna catch him you're gonna catch him past the line of scrimmage, but you don't want to run into Zeke. You don't want to run into a man like that. Rico, same thing. Royce, you don't want to run into them bigger type backs, because you know it's going to be a problem. And then Lepke is going to be the first person you meet, and then he's going to, come on, man. Like, I like what we're doing in camp. I like how camp is coming together. The last person I'm going to talk about that in the video, Maurice Liufau. Maurice Liufau will be the linebacker that we always wanted Sean Lee to be, in terms of if Sean Lee knees wasn't bad, if his lower body wasn't bad, Sean Lee would still be playing today. And the reason why I tell you is because some of your favorite linebackers, I don't know if some of you guys really care about the linebacker position. If you're outside of a Cowboy fan and your team values the linebacker position, I always valued the linebacker position. I always was fascinated by the linebacker position because of so many things that you do at the second level because you're not that far away from the defensive line. But my favorite linebacker of all time, because I'm young, I'm born in 02. So a lot of the linebackers I grew to love were always the instinctual linebackers. Sean Lee was one of my favorite linebackers, not only because I was a Cowboy fan, but you have to watch his game. Really great, knew the plays, so many tackles for loss. That's an underrated stat. I know a lot of people finally are discovering it now because of PFF, but TFLs have always been a thing dating back to the 60s, 70s, 80s. It's always been a thing, right? And I value that more than a lot of other stats. That tackles is overrated in my opinion, but underrated I feel like is TFLs. If you're a linebacker and you have 10 tackle for losses and you're leading the league in tackle for losses year in and year out, you're going to be a freaking problem. And I feel like that's what Maurice Littlefile is going to be. Again, my favorite linebacker of all time to watch wasn't Sean Lee, it was Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly was one of my favorite linebackers to watch. It wasn't because he was a 6'3", really great linebacker. That mother effer was everywhere. He knew every single play. And just look up Luke Kuechly highlights. He was picking people off 30 yards down the field. He knew every single thing. You talk about Cam Newton, he's a great quarterback, and he talks great highlight on all of his teammates. Look at Luke Kuechly when he's talking about and how Cam Newton was talking about, like, bro, like, I'm not trying to throw at Luke. Like, I'm trying to get better because when I'm playing other instinctual linebackers like Luke, I'm going to get in trouble. So that's the part of the game I have to work on. Luke Kuechly knew football like the back of his hand. And Maurice Littlefile is one of those ones. And, again, I'm not just talking outside of my neck. Mike Zimmer is saying that he's one of the he's not wowed by a whole lot of people because he's damn near 80 years old and he's been around the football for his entire life, so he's seen great players. But when your young player, your rookie is coming in and he knows your defense like the back of his hand, that's special. And remember, he played with Coach Eric Kendricks, Coach saw Vontaze Burfict, and what's that one place right now I'm thinking about? Cincy. He coached Zach Thomas when Zach Thomas, for the Dolphins, but I know he played with the Dallas Cowboys. He was at the tail end of his career when he played for us. But when Zach Thomas was with when Zach Thomas was with Miami, he was one hell of a linebacker. Again, Maurice Littlefile is going to be somebody. I show clips on that, him blowing up in the backfield. And there was a clip, not a clip because nobody caught a clip of this. But, shout out to Nick Harris. Nick Harris said he didn't get it on video, but Maurice Littlefile just leveled Tyler Smith on a run play. Tyler Smith is our best offensive guard, our best offensive lineman on our team. And that's saying something with Zach Martin, right? But Maurice Littlefile leveled Tyler Smith on a run play. We know damn well Tyler Smith is a hell of an athlete. He's brute strong. And this linebacker came and leveled him. That just tells you how special Maurice Littlefile is going to be. And he ain't got no itch in him. And that's the type of linebackers and football players I love in general. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.